how we're gonna start with a yawn. Welcome to the Chill Spot Podcast. I'm tired and I don't want to be here. Hopefully you do. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Is that what
Leave
yawns?
us a review.
Is that what yawns give off?
Yeah.
Like, I get the notion that you're tired, but like, where does the "I don't want to be here" come from?
Fucking men. Oh my god. A yawn.
What do you mean?
Like,
I'm genuinely curious.
Because you can express. It baffles me how you can just like do whatever you want and like not think about how it might come off to other people. Like,
I don't understand. Like, okay, well.
And like royal you, like
I feel like you're like, I don't know,
like men.
This
as
feels
a
like
whole.
being read it into quite a bit. Like, it's a yawn. Everybody yawns.
Yeah, but you didn't even cover your mouth.
That's true.
You just
I
like
didn't do
stretched
that.
out, like yawn, like open mouth. Do you know?
I probably should have covered my mouth.
Like dudes don't like cover their mouths when they yawn, and it's like, I'm sorry, am I boring you? Are you like? Do you need to go to sleep? Do you need a nap? Do we need to revisit this later so that you can have a rest? Because you look like you're like just such an outward expression of being tired. Just like comes off as rude to me.
That's so weird, in my opinion.
I think it's
like,
weird. I don't think it's weird. I think it's etiquette.
Well, it's just because but like people yawn all the time. Like everybody yawns. Everyone yawns when they're tired.
Yeah, everybody yawns, but you cover it up.
Like, so if just now I was like into my arm, like,
So pardon me.
Am I boring you, Sam? Am I boring you?
I covered my mouth and I said, pardon me. I said, pardon me, as I yawned. Just, pardon me, excuse me. You know, as if to say, like, oh no, this yawn isn't for you. I'm just a tired person.
Right.
That's all you got to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of etiquette to it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much etiquette in the world that I wish people would use, and I sound like an old person when I say it, but it really does make a difference. I'm sorry. Like, some etiquette we do need in order to, take care of each other and preserve each other's feelings. And it does matter, I feel.
I mean, like, yeah, like I do feel like there's a certain amount of like, I don't know if etiquette's the right word. It's like, social courtesies.
That's what etiquette is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that literally what etiquette means?
Yeah. Just social courtesies that you used so as to not, I
always thought etiquette referred to like the things you do in a situation. It's almost like rules. Like etiquette is like dinner etiquette, like fancy dinner etiquette. That's not like social courtesies. Those are like rules.
But it is like, they are courtesies. Like, etiquette is built. Okay, etiquette has sort of been turned into this like thing that supposedly only people of like a certain class use, and whether or not you use it denotes how high up you are in society.
I am paying attention.
And that was definitely like an old way of doing things. But nowadays, I feel like etiquette is just that, like, they are little social courtesies, and they're built in so that you don't, pardon me, like so that you don't inconvenience people.
Right.
Like the whole like not putting your elbows up on the dinner table, that's because when you put your elbows up on the dinner table, you take up extra space, and then other people don't have space to like move and eat and be at the table, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not, and whether or not you put your elbows up on the table, I think used to denote like how well you had been raised, how good of a person you are. And it's like, I don't think you're a bad person, but it is inconsiderate. It is inconsiderate while we're eating. I don't mind if like the plates have been cleared, or like we're done eating and like there's no food to be had anymore.
Or if you have a big enough table.
Because we're done eating. Like, we're done doing the activity that we gathered around this table to do. But like, if while we're eating, you put your elbows up on the table, and then I can't like I have to like shrink myself a little bit more because you're taking up all of the space. Well, it's like, well, who the fuck told you that you could have all of this space?
You're the fucking barbarian over here.
That's kind of rude.
Munching on
like,
a giant chicken leg.
It's inconsiderate, I mean, it shows that you don't have any spatial awareness for anything or anyone outside of you and your body, and that to me is so selfish.
I guess so. Like,
that's why I appreciate good etiquette.
I see where you're coming from. Just for funsies, I actually looked up the definition of etiquette because I was curious about what it was, because I don't know like exactly what it was. And the Google says, the customary code of polite behavior in society or among the members of a particular profession or group.
Customary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also polite behavior. So it's like, it's what we were both saying. It is both like etiquette is like a code of sorts.
Yeah.
But it's a code formed from consideration for others.
It's customary as in like it's a custom, it's a social custom, like it's designed so that we can stand to be around each other. the way that we have to be out in the world.
That being said, I think that like there's a sort of litmus when it comes to etiquette, right? Where it's like, yeah, if you sneeze or cough or yawn, you should cover your mouth because like we live in pandemic time. Like, come on, I don't need to tell you to cover your mouth.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, dog. If you use your salad fork instead of your appetizer fork,
right?
I'm not gonna shit on your balls.
Of course,
I'm not gonna come over and fart on you.
Of course, of course. Like, yeah, that was definitely once seen as etiquette. I find even in like the rare fine dining situations I found myself in, like the utensils thing doesn't fucking matter.
It's just like, out in. That's all you gotta do.
You might screw yourself over a little bit if you say, I don't know, use a grapefruit spoon too early.
Right.
Because it is literally used to like pry apart the tendrils of like citrus fruit. But so if you use that and it gets taken away before the grapefruit comes out, then like you're screwed. But that's just you know.
That's a you
it
problem.
Sucks to be you then.
For sure.
But yeah, no one gives a fuck if you use like your dessert fork for your salad. Like it's fine. My problem with fine dining and utensil setups is when things are put at the top of the plate as well. Because I'm like, okay, I can work from the outside in on the left or right. When the fuck do I take from the top?
I have an answer for that.
Okay, tell me.
It's for tea and desserts.
Okay.
All of the post-dinner stuff.
End of dinner.
All of the post-dinner stuff is above your plate.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, right.
Good to know.
And the only reason, like, I'm not gonna make something perfectly clear.
Thank God I dated a rich white man to tell me all of these things.
I am not a fine dining person. I work for a catering company.
Right.
It's the only reason I know dinner setup at all.
Right.
My parents don't do this. I'm not gonna go upstairs and mom's gonna be like, Cameron, where'd you put the grapefruit spoons? We're serving nothing but grapefruit tonight.
Actually, there's the reason why I know what a grapefruit spoon is because of Nancy Drew. There's a puzzle in and I think it's game 19, Warnings at Waverly Academy, which is a game that we should play because a lot of the streamers haven't touched that one yet. So we should get in on that.
Waverly Place.
But yeah, like there was a puzzle where you had to set up like a full fine dining utensil setup and like organize the utensils in order.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's fun to learn. It was one of those games where it's very, very tedious. Like the way it's set up is really not user friendly, but it's fun to learn about because it's like I'd never been in a fine dining situation when that game came out, and it just like taught me something new. And then like it really translated into real world help because by the time I started dating you, and you know, we like every once in a while, and I do mean once in a while, like very rarely, we would go out for like a nice dinner, like a fine dining dinner,
like a course dinner.
Yeah, like a Terrace on the Green, which is a very upscale fancy schmancy place in Mississauga.
I still think about Terrace on the Green.
Oh, all the time. That was the first time I ever had creme brulee.
Ever?
Yeah, ever.
Really?
Yeah, ever.
Oh my God,
I remember I smacked the sugar too hard with the spoon and it like came up and like I got like shards of hard sugar in my face.
like right in your eye.
Yeah. Actually though, like I closed my eye in time, but it like hit my eyelid. I was like, oh my God.
You almost went creme brulee blind, dude.
Yeah, creme brulee blind.
Yeah.
But yeah, like by the time I started having those situations, I knew what to do because of Nancy Drew games.
You knew what to do as Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
It came full circle.
I knew what to do because I was Nancy Drew.
Tell me, how much do you think that you've learned like genuinely a lot of miscellaneous things because of your affinity for these games?
100%. I'm trying to think. I mean, like the first game I ever played was Treasure in the Royal Tower, and that really stuck with me. And there's a lot of like French Revolution history and like stuff about Marie Antoinette in there, which is really, really fun because it also teaches you from the angle of being on Marie Antoinette's side and how like history has sort of painted her as this like this spoiled queen.
Okay.
But maybe she was written that way because, you know, all we ever heard about was like, you know, history is written by the victors, and the people who like were uprising during the French Revolution obviously like wrote what we read about it now. So it's like, oh yeah, Marie Antoinette,
she was a big
like
baby. I don't like her very much.
Yeah, her people were starving, and she was up in her castle like eating bonbons and ordering like massive jewels to be given to her. When realistically speaking, like, there's some evidence that suggests that Marie Antoinette hated being rich while her people were poor, but because of her status at the time, you know, she was a woman, she was really young. I think she married Louis the 16th or whatever when she was like 16 or 17 or something like that.
King Louis.
Yeah, so it just like it was my first introduction to Marie Antoinette, and it also, especially since it's like so games are oriented towards like girls and young women. It was the first time I was ever taught that like, hey, history hates women. And
oh yeah, dude.
When you read about women in history and you think, oh, they're these awful people, remember that men wrote this.
Yes.
And like it's a very misogynistic society, so it's something to think about, you know. Like Her Interactive taught me that. Her Interactive taught me something about being critical.
Wow.
About historical accounts.
Do you think that it is a part of your like fledgling interest in feminism, like a young Sam? Like
no, I've always believed that women should be equal to men. It became more nuanced as I got older, but you know, as a basis, I've always believed that the core concept of feminism, which is, you know, equal rights for all genders. Yeah. And when, as a kid, it was like men and women, but like obviously now it's become more...
Feminism has kind of grown.
Yeah, it extends to gender non-conforming and trans individuals and all of that
What wave
stuff.
of feminism are we on?
I don't know.
There's a bunch of them, aren't there?
Fourth
wave?
I think fourth.
Maybe
fifth.
Fourth generation feminism?
Maybe fifth, just because of the world that we live in right now. Feminism has to change. I think fourth wave feminism still doesn't wholly account for white women's participation in the oppression of like women of color. So maybe we're on like fifth wave feminism.
Right.
Do not quote me on that. I am not claiming to be an expert by any means.
No, of course not.
I'm just guessing.
That's a whole thing, man. Like, yeah. I've always wanted to like, if I was still in school, I would have definitely... I should have jumped at the opportunity, but I didn't, so shame on me. But I've always wanted to learn more about the history of feminism. Like, you tell me a lot about the history of feminism, obviously.
Well, I tell you about historical women.
You told me about what you know about the history of feminism.
Yeah.
But I legit want to know, like, who were, like, the first feminists?
Yeah.
Like, back in the day. You know, like, obviously there's people who have obviously always thought that women should be equal to men. But who were the first to actually, like, put it on paper and be like, no, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
like this is a bad time that we're living in.
The first, like, really big... that's been noted in the history books, I should say, because history always erases, like, women and people of color. But, like, the first like real like feminist uprising that I ever heard of was like the suffragette movement, led by like people like Susan B. Anthony and
tell me about that. I don't know
Anthony.
About that.
No, like the suffragette movement was mostly focused on getting white women the right to vote.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't write it down like we want white women to have the right to vote, but it's worth saying that, you know, the suffragette movement was white women.
It wasn't beneficial to people of color.
Like Susan B. Anthony wanted white women to have the right to vote and actively wrote like, so we want women to have the right to vote, but I'm excluding black women and like former slaves and all of this. She was a racist. She was a fucking racist.
What I think is insane about that line of thinking is that like white women right now in this time, not in 2020, but in the time period that we're speaking of, know that they're being oppressed by men. They're aware of this, right? So like we need to come above our stations and like get equal rights,
or just like they just thought that they had a right to participate in the society that they had to live in,
but not black people.
Yeah,
it's like
because they still literally did not see black women as people. So if you don't think that black women are people, why do you think they need to vote? Because all they do is just serve you. So it doesn't matter. Like that's never going to change. So like their whole life is just to serve white women. So why do they need to participate in society if that's just their role for the rest of their lives, you know? Why would you ever think that they deserve a right to have a say in how their world operates around them?
Or at least that's how they think.
That is 100% how they think. That is not... I'm speaking from the perspective of Susan B. Anthony.
I wanted to clarify just now because I was like, you know what? I don't think there's enough context.
No, it's worth saying out loud.
Yeah.
These things are always worth saying out loud, I find. It shits on comedy. And I do think I've been doing some thinking, and I had a conversation with a friend of mine who I did not expect to ever have that conversation with, because they were always very, very staunch about making sure that their like the media that they consume was like 100% PC all the time, and fuck anything that wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
And like we had a conversation, and she was just like, nothing can ever be perfect, and sometimes lightly non 100% PC things are like kind of funny. Of funny.
Because okay, I have 2 cents on this, but I want you to finish your thought.
And I don't mean like excusing rape jokes in an otherwise there was a recent Netflix special that's out. It's called 3 a.m. The comedian's name is Sam J, and she told some very, very transphobic jokes. I haven't seen it for what it's worth. I've only just seen the outcry about it over Twitter, and I've been meaning to watch it. But apparently it's very, very funny, but she tells some really transphobic jokes. And I'm not talking about that. I'm not the part where she said transphobic things was bad, but the rest of it is still really good. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, when Big Mouth did that thing with the pansexual character, and then people were like, see, Big Mouth sucks. The animation is ugly, and I hate Nick Kroll, and now they did this. Fuck Big Mouth. It's like, no, they handled the pansexual character poorly.
They did.
Okay.
And they apologized.
It wasn't funny. Yeah. And then they copped to it and they apologized, and they're working on being better. So that episode where Ali Wong, she's the actor who plays the pansexual character.
It's pretty much just a tiny Ali Wong.
Pretty much. But that character is always going to be there if I go back and watch season 3 of Big Mouth. That's not going to change. Mm-hmm. But it's no reason to throw the whole show away.
Yeah.
Big ridiculous. Mouth is still a really funny show. And there's that one part that's not, accurate. It's not an accurate portrayal of pansexual people. Mm-hmm. And I know that. And I read a bunch of the threads written by pansexual people about their experiences in light of all of that. So I've read, I'm dedicated to keeping to learn, but not going to throw Big Mouth away because of one that's a ridiculous bad pansexual notion. Joke.
If
it's still funny.
If you throw away everything you watch because it's not perfect, you're not going to watch anything.
You'll find it very, very hard to watch things. Yeah.
You might watch 2 things.
Yeah.
Yeah. My 2 cents on this whole topic is that of course, I want to make something perfectly clear that there is a line. Mm-hmm. There's a line that you do not cross when it comes to ironic, edgy humor, right? But if I say something I don't know, like, comment, and subscribe to Own the Libs.
Yeah.
To own the libs is something a right-wing nut would say.
Yeah.
I'm not telling everyone that I'm making fun of these people.
Yeah.
And that's where the comedy comes from.
And I kind of don't want to explain that anymore.
You shouldn't have to.
I feel this is an ongoing conversation with us, right? Because I'm the serious one. I always bring things to a very serious, somber point.
I wouldn't say somber, but you are serious.
But I do that because we live in an age where people are going to dig, and if this channel is really going to grow the way that we want it to, the way that it is, but thank you so much, by the way, everybody. Mm-hmm. If we want it to grow, people we're going to have this repertoire that people can dig through and find problematic things. And, I never want anyone to think that we are ignorant about such obvious topics like trans rights or feminism or racism, Black Lives Matter, stuff like that.
To be honest.
I always wanted to be clear what side I'm on in my comedy, this has really come to light. I really can't explain everything.
Well, you shouldn't have to.
Some things you guys are really just going to have to know.
I trust our audience. Listen, Sam.
We have 2 whole episodes about how we're left leaning and how we don't fuck with these isms and these phobias.
We're pretty outspoken.
The big isms and the big phobias, and I just need you to know that. And always call me out if I'm really out of line. I always want to be one of those people. If we're gonna achieve any sort of public platform, I always want to be one of those people who you feel like you can call in and I'll listen to you when you say, hey, this is homophobic, this is transphobic, this is problematic, this is whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm not a fucking gross Ben Shapiro type, fucking Joe Rogan motherfucker making excuses for terrible people.
Inconceivable that you would behave that way.
So can I maybe say comment, subscribe to Own the Libs, and I don't have to be so that was a joke about blah blah blah. Can you just know?
Could I be honest?
Can you just know some things?
I think that's a pressure you put on yourself.
Yeah.
To be honest.
It is, but
I think you could stand to trust our audience base more, and also I think you could stand to
trust the audience base. Finish. I don't trust fucking randos coming out of left field.
I really don't think well, first of all, we're not, in my opinion, not big enough to be targeted in such a way.
Yeah.
But second of all, even if tomorrow we were to get 1 million subscribers, like, I'd like to hope that the people who are spending their time watching our videos can get a pretty good idea of who we are as people.
Yeah.
Like, especially on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like on the Let's Plays and the videos, yeah, we yuck it up and, you know, we're like characters almost, right? But in the podcast, like, it really is, genuine is not the right word. It's a bit more honest because it's really conversational, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We're very outspoken on issues, and I think that we could stop pooping our own party.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like 60 episodes into this bitch.
I think y'all know. I think y'all know where we stand on any topic at any given time.
And also, not for any, the way I see it, like, and again, I want to stress that there is a line, right? There's a line you don't cross.
Yeah.
But, like, if you make a joke about, I don't know, like, Nazis or something, like, disparaging Nazis, make a joke about Nazis.
Yeah.
Like, you understand that if Hitler heard this joke, he'd be pissed off.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be like, oh, get that guy in our ranks.
Okay, here's a funny story. We went camping last week, and we were driving home, and we were having a bit of a time with bad drivers. Like, there was just like a couple of times where it was like, I can't fucking believe that you just tried to pull that.
Yeah.
And every once in a while on the highway, there would be these signs. It'd be like, you know, like tailgating kills, like leave space, and, you know, always use your signal, like signal every turn you make, and all that stuff. So we see a bad driver. A couple of kilometers later on, you see a sign down the road that says, like, tailgating kills, always leave space.
Right.
And you pointed to it, and the way that you pointed and the angle that I was at, you pointed straight and out.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see.
And you only saw my finger.
I saw one finger at least pointing straight out, and I was like, and I looked over to make sure that there wasn't like a full hand like pointing straight out.
Like I was doing a Nazi salute.
And I looked over and I was like, sorry, I know you were pointing to that sign because we just saw like a tailgater, but like it looked like you were doing a Nazi salute. And you were like I told you, like, I had to look over to make sure that you weren't doing a Nazi salute. And you were like, yeah, Sam, 4.5 years into this, I just bust out the Nazi salute on our way home from a camping trip.
Two good friends in the back seat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let everybody know. I'm fucking saying it. Nazi salute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
Just throw it out there.
Yeah.
Just throw it out there.
Whatever. They had a good, you know what? They had a good thing going for the economy.
We're close. We're close. I can say this now.
That's what all the modern Nazis say, right? So, well, Hitler knew what to do with his economy. Yeah, didn't know what to do with his people, though. Like, dude.
Jesus Christ.
It's delusional, right? It's the same argument.
Delusional.
It's the same argument with Civil War. Mm-hmm. Sam, do you have any idea how fucking, like, how far my jaw dropped when I found out the Civil War was like 3 years? Not even that. I think it was like 1 year. I'm gonna look it up. Hang on.
Oh, the American Civil War, like North versus the South?
Did the Civil
it was not very long
War
at all.
last? All right, here we go. It was 4 years, the Civil War.
Yeah.
4 years?
High school.
4 years?
High school.
The way people talk about the Civil War, you think that it was
dragged
a 30-year
on for like 30
lore.
years. Yeah, exactly. Like, so much happened.
And what kills me about with the people like who like wave Confederate flags. First of all, you're waving the flag of a loser, you fucking loser.
Yeah.
Second of all, the whole argument is like, it wasn't about slaves, it was about states' rights. States' rights to own slaves. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
How do you have to spell this out for you?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get these people.
Yeah.
Like, Royal, you are delusional.
Yeah.
You're fucking delusional.
But yeah. So, long story short, my boyfriend's not a Nazi, thank God.
Yeah. We figured. Luckily, we put that one to bed.
You always have to double check when you're a person of color and you're dating a white person. Like, you never really stop double checking. I gotta say, like, it never really ends because like by the time you start like dating and like getting into serious relationships, you have all this life experience and you know that people can rear their ugly heads anytime.
For sure.
Anytime. I have a childhood friend, and I think I've told the story before, like my old childhood friend who like made a Facebook post about how there should be a White History Month, and then I was like, your mother raised you better than this, and she was like, actually my mom encouraged me to post this, so dunk. And I was like, goodbye forever. And
now she's a white girl with dreadlocks, so who fucking cares?
But I learned through so I had like a little like ecosystem, like a core group of friends. It was like my friend PJ, who I grew up with, and then these two twins who will remain nameless because one of them is like the shit friend who thinks that there should be a White History Month and like she just doesn't deserve any sort of like space here. But PJ's mom I had dinner with recently, you and I, and she was telling me that like this girl's mom posts racist shit all the time. Like, she's just gone completely. She's one of those people who was like left leaning and then like watched a bunch of Fox News one day and got brainwashed and now is like a full-blown racist.
Just completely off the deep end.
And you kind of want to like grab those people and be like, you had me, a black person, in your home. You saw me grow up. Like, you literally had a hand in raising me inadvertently. I was at your house every single day one summer. Literally every single. I am not exaggerating. I was over at that house in that pool, hanging out, having sleepovers, like a million times for like an entire summer.
Right.
I lived there. And here you are spouting this anti-black racist crap. And it's like, do you not remember me at all?
Mm-hmm.
Did I not mean a single thing to you? Well, like, how does this happen?
Mm-hmm.
How does this happen?
Well, your friend's mom.
How did I not know you were racist?
Well, here's it is, Sam. You kind of just answered the question yourself. These people don't think they're racist.
Yeah.
These people, like, if they would interact with a person of color, wouldn't like turn into demons and like become like feral.
Yeah.
No, they talk to you like they would talk to anybody else. But it's the way they feel about what you think, right?
Yeah.
And like, that is the delusional part.
It's about how, like, when push comes to shove, like, what side are you really on?
Yeah.
And like, people of color are always, when it comes to interacting with white people, like,
wary of that.
Always wary of that. It never really stops. And like, I think it affects relationships sometimes because you think that, oh, well, like I'm dating a non-white person, and they don't seem to like 100% trust me because they're always like wondering. And it's like, but like, maybe you know that you're never gonna like turn on me, and like you trust that if shit were to really go down, you would like be by my side. But like, you never know. You never know. Especially like it can be, and it's not like always, oh, you were racist this whole time and I don't know when your racism is gonna show itself. It's like, if we get stopped by the cops and like something, I'm making this dark again. Fuck.
How about we move on?
If
I have a funny anecdote.
Let me make this funny. I can make this funny. I can turn it around.
Mm-hmm.
If like a Karen thinks that I don't live at the house that I live in, are you gonna be there to be like, hey, you dumb white bitch, leave my girlfriend alone?
Oh, I would love to do that.
Like, stand up to a Karen.
I actually welcome that opportunity, so I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would love to really tell someone off. Like, I'll be honest with you, Sam, I've never done that in my life. Like, ever.
Well, that's just it, right? Like, I know that you've never done it before, and it's like, it's hard to do something that intense, that emotionally intense. That's a conflict, that's a really huge conflict.
But I'm emotionally prepared for that. Listen, I don't like conflict, but I'm not scared of it.
Yeah.
Like, and I would defend you 10 times out of 10.
Well, that's very nice to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I would defend you like I defend anyone I love, right? Like, if you're being attacked by someone, like, well, first thing, I mean, knowing me, I'd probably walk over and be like, oh, what seems to be the problem here?
Yeah.
And then I'll probably be like, well, no, this is our house. Like, we live here. Like, I'm not going to get my deed. And then if they continued to be pushy, I'd be like, I think you're being extremely rude and you should leave. I'm not really one to raise my voice, so I wouldn't.
But yeah, non-white people are always like on edge about that.
Well, it's like there's that famous interview with Muhammad Ali, right, where it's like they talking about racism and like black people's relationship to white people, because specifically in regards to Muhammad Ali, he was like, well, okay, listen, if I'm on a farm at a gate and I see 50 snakes rushing my gate, but 10 of them are nice snakes, and I've been told that they're nice snakes. Are you gonna let 50 snakes in, 40 of which will kill you? No, you're not gonna do that.
You're gonna stop all snakes.
You're gonna stop all the snakes. And I think that's how a lot of people operate, and I really can't blame them for that.
Okay, I'm thinking about like 50 snakes all at once, and I can't.
Yeah, you're riding up now?
Yeah, I gotta curl up into a ball.
You want to hear something stupid I did the other day, Sam?
I would love to, please.
I was driving to Kitchener to hang out with a friend of mine who I hadn't seen in a little while. And for whatever reason, I was feeling nostalgic. I guess it's been a long time since I've been to her house. And I hadn't done this in a very long time. I put on the Hamilton soundtrack, which I haven't done in forever.
Nice.
I really enjoy Hamilton.
And like, you've measured, you're so cute. You know exactly when to start Hamilton, so that by the time you get from Mississauga to Kitchener, you finish the entire first half of the album, and then you finish the second half on the way back.
Hamilton is exactly...
You have it timed out perfectly.
I will literally, from Alexander Hamilton to nonstop, is Mississauga to Kitchener.
Yeah.
And then from What Did I Miss to Who Tells Your Story is the ride back.
That's
literally.
so wild.
It's parsed out.
That's so funny.
So like anyone who listens to musicals on their own, you sing along. That's what you do when you listen to a musical. I understand that everyone is embarrassed about this and no one likes to talk about it, but shut the fuck up. If you're listening to a musical in your car, driving somewhere, you're singing along. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. That's the point.
I know singing show tunes is like classically corny. Like it's one of those like if somebody sings show tunes, they're a dork. Like they're a huge dork.
But don't do it in front of people.
But also, don't be a musical theater kid about it and like have to sing at every opportunity you can possibly get.
I'm not socially inept. No. I just like Hamilton.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was listening to Hamilton. I was singing along, and I guess I was how do you say it, like really going for it? Because when I got to my friend's house, I got out. My throat was like like I had just sung
like course
half of Hamilton. Yeah, all of the roles, including the women's parts.
How does the one Skylar Sisters song go? It's like Angelica, Peggy, Eliza, work. You're just
exactly. And I'm Aunt Peggy. Yeah. That's me. Yep.
Aunt Peggy.
And I gotta be wary of that, man. Obviously it wasn't so much damage that I like couldn't operate. But I was thinking about the other day, like I really got to figure out how many voice auditions I can do in a day and if I need to rest or not. Because I can't just have my voice go kaput on me.
Yeah.
Put a lot of stock in this voice of mine.
Yeah.
I can't just lose it.
It's your tool. You need it.
Yeah, legit. I'm going to be like a singer. I'm going to be wearing like scarves and drinking tea all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you don't drink like cola anymore because it's bad for your vocal cords or whatever.
I got these golden pipes, baby. Yeah. I can't lose them.
I mean, like you should look into taking care of it, to be honest.
I do take care of my throat.
There are some liquids and foods and stuff that like hurt your throat. So.
That's why I start with tea my morning with tea. Tea and honey. Tea and honey is the best thing for your fucking throat. You throw a little lemon in there if you really want to get zhuzhy. You know,
want to get bougie.
Helps
with it.
A lot.
Yeah.
I don't really drink pop. I like iced tea.
Yeah.
Which is technically pop, I guess, but it's not carbonated.
It's a soft drink.
It's a soft drink. Yeah.
Absolutely, Oprah.
But yeah, so that was my thing that I did the other day.
That's cool. You revisited Hamilton.
It was fun, man. It's a good show. Like, I know Hamilton gets a lot of hate. And like, I understand why people don't like it in terms of like, it was overhyped. It's a very, very, very overhyped show. But in my opinion, if you really like, for those who are interested, and this is not everybody, you should look into buying or getting your hands on Hamilton the Revolution, which is basically, it's like I don't know what kind of book it is, but it's a book. It's a
concept book.
It's a concept book that has like parts. It's essentially a script of Hamilton that has like Lin-Manuel Miranda's like doctored notes in it, and they talk about like the artistry that goes into it. And I just think that the journey that those people went on to get this show to stage is so incredible, and the bars are crazy. Like, don't get me wrong, it's nothing like. How do I say this? It's nothing like cool to say. I'm not walking around spitting out like Hamilton hooks, you know, but it is brilliant.
Yeah.
Like the way they've meshed the language of that era into rap and making it rhyme, but also having a continuous story from start to finish. Like that is incredible. That's a feat.
Yeah. And I think that stuff like that, and this is one of my big gripes with art. I kind of had this conversation when I was talking with that friend about like perfectly PC things. I feel like as soon as somebody points out a problem with a piece of art, then the problem becomes the whole thing, and it's like you can't appreciate what is actually good about the thing, and instead it's like, well, this thing has flaws, so it sucks.
Exactly.
And it's like everything has flaws.
Everything has flaws.
Everything has flaws. You can't throw things away because it's like, yeah, fine, whatever. Thomas Jefferson owned slaves, so like, is it a bad thing that a black man is playing him? I personally think no, because I think it would really stick in Thomas Jefferson's craw that a black man is playing him, getting paid a bunch of money to do it, and is doing it really well and winning awards for it, and everybody is on board. I think if Thomas Jefferson could come back from the dead and look around, he would realize how fucking alone he is, and his racism and his rape.
Yeah.
And he would look like a fucking dumbass. And I almost want him to be alive to see this happen, because I want him to be so embarrassed and disgusted by his behavior that he just dies all over again.
Right.
And then goes away forever.
And Thomas Jefferson in Hamilton is portrayed as an asshole.
Yeah.
He's the antagonist.
Yeah.
Like literally.
100%.
You know, like
so yeah, like, and it's like when people are shitting on Hamilton and people who like Hamilton shitting on those people, it's like
It's never
do you
ending.
think that I'm just like mindlessly do you really think that like I love the flaw that you have found in this thing? No.
Yes.
I like the language and the way that it's been woven into something as modern as hip hop and uses this, which is I love hip hop, so it's like using a medium that I enjoy to make another medium that I enjoy when they usually don't go together, and this genius has made it work. You know, like that's what I love it for. When I was having this conversation with my friend, I was talking about Green Book, the movie The Green Book with Mahershala Ali and Viggo Mortensen. Mm-hmm. That movie caught a lot of flack because it did really well in the award season, but the one of the co-writers of the script, who was the son of Viggo Mortensen's character, is a Trump supporter, and like on 9/11 was posting all of this disgusting Islamophobic content and all of this stuff. He's a racist, he's a Trump supporter, he's a terrible person. And then like the family of the character that Mahershala Ali played in real life came forward and said, like, actually, like, this isn't how our family members, our relatives' life was. It's inaccurate. So there was a big debate about like the portrayal of Black people in movies, and especially since the Green Book takes place in like segregation, like Jim Crow era, like, you know, writing a character, like a Black character who's like taken Jim Crow in stride and is like doing his best and blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, whatever. People were criticizing the way that character was written. I forget the character's name, unfortunately, but it's like fair. You know, like, but when I saw Green Book, I remember I had a shitty day at work and I just wanted to do something for myself. And I love Mahershala Ali. I think he's
a bang-up actor.
I think he's one of the best actors of this century. Just like the way, like the way that he approaches acting, is as an actor, as an aspiring actor, is inspiring to watch. And it's the kind of actor that I want to be.
He is also the coolest man alive.
Just so fucking cool.
Like, yeah.
Like, so I have watched an interview with him. Do you know about like Complex's like sneaker shopping series where like they'll take a celebrity sneaker shopping and they talk, it's for sneakerheads, you know? I've seen him on that talking about sneakers, and then I've seen him in like an Actors on Actors video with Greta Gerwig talking about like acting, like like the craft.
I think if I
think he is so versatile and such just like a real actor's actor, but also has this like mainstream appeal that just like makes you like he's into fashion and sneakers and, you know, all this stuff. It's just like he's just the most beautiful person, I think.
If I shook Mahershala Ali's hand, I think I would freeze solid. Yeah. Like, he's that cool.
Oh my God.
Like, I would turn to ice.
Oh, he's just
and then he would push me over.
And he's a cat person. You're so cool. But yeah, so anyways, wanted to see Mahershala Ali because I genuinely love Mahershala Ali, and like this is the movie that he's in, so I went and I saw Green Book. And you know, the same thing happens that always happens when you watch a Mahershala Ali movie. You get completely enraptured by his performance, and I thought that he gave a really good performance, and that is why I like Green Book, because I saw the nuts and bolts of what Mahershala Ali was doing in approaching the character. And from a crafts point of view, I thought that it's a beautiful movie.
Sure.
That's why I like Green Book.
I never saw it.
I don't like Green Book because I think it's accurate.
Well, I mean...
And then I can't say that I liked Green Book without getting dogpiled on and called a bad Black person, when really I'm just in it for a different reason. Yes, I acknowledge that Green Book isn't accurate, and these stories never are. No. Like, as far as making you feel about the time period in which they're set in, these movies do nothing but try and make you feel better about, like, Jim Crow era America. You don't think I know that? You don't think I know that? That's why I fucking walked out of Detroit, everybody. Like, come on. Who are you talking to here? Remember who you're talking to here. But, like, it's just really fucking annoying when, like, the Twitter sphere is like, bad because blah, 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 blah. So it's bad forever because of this one reason. And it's like, do you have any idea how to consume art at all? Yeah. Like, can you just, like, you realize you can like something for different reasons, right? Like, well, Sam, even if it's, like, a universally liked thing, you're going to like it for different reasons.
How many episodes of this podcast that we do every week have I said that you need to accept the thing you like wholly? You can't just, like, take the good and shunt the bad.
Yeah.
And be like, well, it's bad. No, you have to be like, yeah, here's the things that's wrong with it, but here's the things I like about it.
Yeah.
And like in my opinion, when especially in regards to the example to Green Book, is like, okay, fine, it's not accurate. That's a shame that it's not accurate. Now it's fiction.
Yeah.
Like any other movie.
Cool.
It's fiction now.
It's just as fictional as Harry Potter is to me now.
Because I don't get. I really like. I retweeted this a couple days ago. Someone did this a really snarky tweet of like, this modern artist depict a French cafe better than or more accurately than Van Gogh, proving that Van Gogh was a hack.
Yeah. I saw that.
The fetishization,
overrated.
The fetishization of realism is the death of art. Fuck you if you think realism is like the high point of art or historical accuracy or like everything needs to be accurate. Why the fuck does everything need to be accurate? It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
Like, what the hell do you think fantasy is?
Yeah.
Like, people go to these movies and games and stories to escape sometimes. And I fucking hate when people are like, oh, well, this 2D side-scrolling indie game is pixelated and it doesn't look like The Last of Us 2, so therefore it's ugly, it's a bad game.
Yeah.
Like, the next time someone who tells me that Shovel Knight has bad graphics, I'm going to strangle you. Like, I'm going to come across...
Do people actually say that?
I had someone, I'm not going to name names, like, I was like showing them Shovel Knight and I was very vocal about how it's like one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
And they're like, I wish the graphics were better. And I swear to God, I almost snapped my Switch in two. Like, I was like holding it and I was like... Well, because to me, it's like,
that's so stupid.
You know what all that does to me, Sam? All that does, like with a megaphone, when people say shit like what you're talking about and what I'm talking about, I'm a fucking idiot. I am so ignorant and stupid that I just consume art one-dimensionally.
Maybe you should just watch live action TV then.
You know?
Shovel Knight has like such shitty graphics.
What really? Okay.
You also better have like a 4K surround sound TV.
Oh yeah.
Like you better have like the best. If realism is so important to you, your setup better be like, I want to see every pore on fucking Nathan Fillion's face.
You better have a fucking Ready Player One goddamn VR suit in your house.
Yeah.
And if I don't see that when I come over, you're a poser.
You're phony.
You're a fucking poser.
You're 100% a phony.
Also, how the fuck? I'm getting off topic because of Shovel Knight, but it's like, when looking at something like Shovel Knight, how do you not look at this and be like, oh, they're trying to emulate 16-bit era graphics, which is why it looks that way? Like, how the fuck do you look at, like, a Super Nintendo game and be like, well, I don't know, The Last of Us 2 made trees look better.
Yeah.
Of course it did! Came out in 2020!
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That was the aim. That was the aim.
It's literally, realism is a game mechanic in The Last of Us 2. Like, holy shit. Also, how the fuck do you compare those two games?
Yeah.
Are you a hamster?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a fucking big enough brain to parse things correctly?
I know.
And that's when it goes back to what you're talking about. It's like, you know what? Like, I watched Star Wars, and like, none of that shit happened. Of course none of it happened.
It's not an accurate depiction of how fascist states really work. Yeah, no shit.
You know,
because they took over with fucking lightsabers, my dude.
You know, I saw Mark Hamill in real life and he didn't like force something over to him. Like he got up, went over to the fridge and got a beer. Like he didn't just like use his force powers.
What a fucking liar.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Like you're an idiot.
He was I can't believe he was pretending the whole time. It's like that's acting.
Also, stories don't...
I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to help you anymore.
Stories don't need to exclusively take place on Earth.
Yeah.
Like, why?
No, I just got to a point in my media consumption and, like, trying to be as PC as possible and, like, really trying to be an ally. And, you know, like, I've always said this, and this ties into, like, the whole cancel culture conversation and stuff like that. Me trying to consume as much PC content as possible wasn't so much about, me wanting what you put out to be perfect. It was about me trying to participate in showing studios that stories about and supporting racists, transphobes, homophobes, all the phobes, all of the isms. It's me trying to show the studios that that's not is what's going to make the money.
Right.
So if these creators are so insistent on making their homophobic, transphobic, racist, misogynistic content, then it's not going to work out and it's not worth it for you to fund it because it's not going to make you money because nobody wants that. It was about the general public. Cancel culture for me was originally about the general public hitting the industry in a spot where they're actually going to feel it so that they will actually commit change. Because me, like people writing all of these fucking dissertations and articles and conducting studies about how depictions in the media affect how we treat each other in real life, they weren't working. having empirical evidence wasn't working. Being educated and speaking eloquently on the matter wasn't working.
Yeah.
What works for the entertainment industry is money.
Stopping the money.
Whether or not you make money. So me trying to not watch things that weren't PC was me simply saying, this isn't working, and the only way for me to show you is if it doesn't make any money. If this Joe Rogan stand-up special gets like no views, like if Joe Rogan stand-ups go from like 6 million streams on the first day to like 2 million streams on the first day, that will show you that people don't fucking like Joe Rogan if he won't stop talking about like misogyny,
right,
you know, or like racism or the dumb shit that he talks about. That no one wants to listen to that anymore, that we've moved past that society has moved past that, and our entertainment needs to reflect the zeitgeist. It needs to catch up. And I think the entertainment industry had a lot of catching up to do.
For sure.
And I think it still has a lot of catching up to do. But, you know, I don't think canceling things for not being 100% PC anymore is working, because we're kind of hitting a wall.
It's immature, in my opinion.
Yeah. The discourse has just sort of like deflated and descended into madness, and it's just like impossible to really figure out what it is that we want. It's become this amorphous blob of hatred. Yeah.
That we just don't know how to navigate anymore.
And that's why I say, you know, in trying to in poo-pooing a lot of the comedy that we do, and like being the person that always brings it to like a somber sort of like real point, I just want to project as much as possible that if I'm going to be a creator with any sort of platform, not necessarily famous, but, you know, let's just say a platform, you know, couple hundred people listen every week to what I have to say. I simply want to be the type of person that you can approach, right, even from a long distance. If you're someone that I don't know and you DM me one day and say, hey, this was transphobic and here's why. I want people to know that I will listen.
Yeah.
I want people to know that I'm the type of person that you can come to with that sort of thing, and I will learn and I will genuinely try and do better. I acknowledge that I can't be perfect. I acknowledge that I have my privileges, and that leads me to be ignorant on some things, and that will lead me to say ignorant things. It's impossible to not. We're all people. We all do it. It's just some of us put microphones in front of our faces. But I just want people to know that I can be talked to about these things reasonably, you know? I think about Kevin Hart all the time and his whole thing when he lost the Oscar hosting gig because of his homophobic jokes. And it's like, the problem with Kevin Hart is that the gay community was like, okay, can you please apologize for the homophobic jokes that you made? And he was like, I'm sorry. And they were like, okay, like, you said the words, but it's like, I don't trust that you really meant it. I need you to stop saying homophobic things and understand why you shouldn't say homophobic things anymore. And he's like, why are you asking so much of me? I said I was sorry. And then Ellen DeGeneres was like, he said he was sorry. He should host the Oscars. I'm going to support him 100% because he said he was sorry.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so frustrating. And like Terry Crews is so frustrating because we're like, single moms can raise really, really good, smart boys. And you don't necessarily need a man to raise a good man. And he's like, yes, you do. And we're like, no, you don't, because X, Y, Z. And he's like, well, I'm sorry. And we're like, thank you. And he's like, but I still think. And we're like, nope, you're not fucking listening.
Right.
I want people to know that I'll listen to you, you know?
I think that's evident.
Well, I've just said it out loud, so.
Well, I mean, there's also
evident.
There's also 60 fucking episodes of this podcast, Sam, and like we literally our whole shtick is active listening.
Yeah.
You know, we try to listen to one another.
Yeah.
So
like that's what I fuck with. Like I know fucking Pete Davidson's comedy isn't like perfect, but like if you watch his like career from like beginning of stand-up to like SNL to like, you know, Netflix special and King of Staten Island and moving forward with this kind of stuff, it's like he's changed. He's obviously like learning, and I will always fuck with someone who's in the process of learning. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be learning.
Right.
That's all I ask.
Yeah.
You know, I don't ask for perfect PC, like 100% cover all of your bases all of the time. Just like be a person who is learning. That's all I ask.
Like conflict is the spice of life in a weird way, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to have. If your life is perfect, well, in my opinion, with the current state of cancel culture, if everything was perfect, people would just find something else to be mad about.
100%.
Like
to be like, oh well, this little like niche group wasn't represented in this stand-up special, or like, yeah, sure, they talked in depth about, you know, gay rights and trans rights and racism and feminism. And then they talked about people with disabilities for 0.25 seconds, and it wasn't deep enough when you covered all these other topics. And it's like, well, then you write the disability stand-up special then.
Yeah, really.
Like, I'm serious. Do it.
What about the otherkin, Sam?
Otherkin can write their... I would love an Otherkin stand-up special. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
They're like, so I was eating my mom's pearls the other day because I'm dragonborn. She came into the room, got all mad at me, and I was like, Ma, I'm a dragon. Get used to it.
No, you're not.
Stop eating the family heirlooms, please.
Please, that's your grandfather's urn. Nah, man, that's like, I agree. Like, sometimes stories can be about one thing. They don't need to be about everything. You know?
You can appreciate it for being about that one thing.
Because you know what we get, Sam? I'm going to go off on a small tangent here.
Yeah.
You know what we get when stories try to have everything? You get Star Wars Episode 9, which had, like, black characters in it, but they didn't do anything, but they were just in it. And they have a gay. Oh, we did it. Look, the girls kissed. They did it. Ooh, look, it's gay. Yeah. They're gay. Oh, my God. Gay characters. Like, that's what you get. That's what you fucking get. They didn't mean anything. They could cut Finn.
Yeah, you get meaningless queer baiting.
You could cut Finn and those gay pilots and that other black female character. Did she even get a name?
I don't think so.
You can cut her out of that film and nothing would change.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you're screaming to the heavens that, like, okay, well,
every single piece has to have all of these things in them.
I need 5% black characters, 5% Asian characters, 5% BIPOC characters.
Yeah.
And they need to have this much screen time. It's like, if you're writing movies like that, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You're gonna
the story's gonna sacrifice.
You're gonna get regimented, dumb, pandering bullshit.
Yeah.
And you should not be happy about that.
No.
I literally, Sam, like, I like to hope that I am an ally for all kinds of things, and I try my damnedest to be one. I rolled my fucking eyes when those pilots kissed at the end of Star Wars 9.
Oh, it was so stupid. These two characters that I have never seen for this entire movie.
They have no names.
No names.
No significance to the plot.
No ties to any of the other characters, and there are a lot of characters in Star Wars Episode 9. You could connect them to any of them at any given time for any reason, but they just pop out of nowhere and they kiss, and it's like, oh, there were gay people on this island the whole time.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse like, look, we put a couple gay people in the movie. Woo-hoo.
Do you want that?
We did it.
As a gay person, do you want that?
Yeah.
Like, because I don't want that. I don't like that.
It's bullshit.
I don't think that's accurate. I didn't love, like, that there was a black female character. It's like, yeah, she was a badass. I didn't know her fucking name. She had no identity whatsoever.
She rode a horse on the back of a Star Cruiser, and like, that's it.
I remember how excited I was when we first saw Finn in the Force Awakens trailer, and he pops up in the Stormtrooper costume and he's sweating, and we were like, holy shit. And everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe there's a fucking black person. This is so stupid. And John Boyega was like, get used to it. And I was like, yeah, good representation going forward, this new trilogy. And then they
fucked him over,
shunted him to the side, and I was like, as a black person, that's not what I want.
Well, it's funny, it's ironic.
That's not what I want. And then it's frustrating with John Boyega, because it's like, you were going there and then you just stopped.
Well, did you read his GQ article?
Yeah, I read the whole thing. It was really great.
It was a great article.
It was a great. So good.
I highly. It's funny how we ended up here, because that's entirely relevant. That literally got published yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think, like,
the whole thing is on GQ's website, by the way, if anybody wants to read it.
I so fuck with John Boyega's whole, like, 100%. Fuck Disney, like, I love Disney. I do. I love Disney. I love everything. I love Marvel. I love Disney princess movies. I love animated movies. Yeah. But you know what? The mouse got some fucking problems.
Oh, yeah. As
like, to say the least, all right?
It's a corporation. Whenever a business gets that big, it's gonna do evil stuff, because you cannot be that big and successful without being evil.
Dog, when you're making more money,
doesn't allow it.
When you're making more money than some countries, like,
hello.
There's some shit going on there.
Hello. So, yeah. But yeah, I love John Boyega. I'm going to continue to support John Boyega. He's got a new movie with Steve McQueen coming out, which is, like, I've said my piece about Steve McQueen before. Like, stylistically speaking, he's, like, not my favorite director, but
what else did he do?
He did 12 Years a Slave.
Oh, for sure.
And then he did Shame and Hunger.
Sure. Yeah.
With goddamn Magneto, fucking
Fast Butt.
Michael Fassbender, thank you. I wanted to say, like, something Moynihan for some reason. Like
Bobby Moynihan. Bobby Moynihan in 12 Years a Slave. He 100% should have been in that movie.
Collaborator of Steve McQueen, Bobby Moynihan.
Yeah, really.
You know what? I've seen a couple interviews with Bobby Moynihan because he and Ben Schwartz are both on DuckTales together, and he's a sweet bean. I love him.
He's hilarious. Yeah. He's like one of the
second longest SNL cast member behind Kenan
Thompson. Yeah. You don't do SNL for like 30 years unless you're funny.
Yeah,
like, real talk.
No,
you know,
he's a fantastic sketch comic. Like, you know, that's his skill, and it is a skill.
He just wants to get the bag. That's all he wants.
And I mean, like, if you're a sketch comic, like, and you're on SNL, you're where you're supposed to be. Like, you're where you're gonna flourish. So, do your thing. But yeah, fucking Steve McQueen, John Boyega. Yeah, I'm gonna go see that movie. Are you kidding me? Or I'll rent it from Cineplex or whatever the fuck.
Well, whatever Cineplex eventually invents a machine that can beam movies directly into our eyes because no one wants to go to theaters anymore.
Exactly.
Although I have a couple friends who went to theaters and apparently their process is quite like thorough.
You know what? I'm at a point where going to the movies is the thing that I miss the most about the old times.
For sure.
The before times.
I want to go see Tenet, man. I heard the movie's good.
So, like, if friends of ours go see Tenet and they say that, you know, like, their experience was okay and the distancing was done well, I might go to a movie.
Let's go see Tenet. Can we please go see Tenet? I want to see it.
I don't know what Tenet's about at all.
That's the best part. That's why I want to go see it.
Okay. But yeah, like, if they find that the social distancing guidelines are followed or carried out effectively, and I hear that from multiple different people, like, I'll go see a movie. I missed it enough.
I've heard what so let me tell you. I
missed it enough.
Let me tell you what Cineplex is doing, right? So you can only buy seats in pairs. Okay. So it's like, picture a movie theater chairs, right?
Yeah.
Bottom left corner, 2 seats.
Yeah.
Next 2 seats, empty. Can't buy them.
Gotcha.
2 seats.
Gotcha.
If one person buys a seat in a pair, the seat next to them cannot be sold.
Okay.
So it's like you have to buy, like, for instance, if three people like me, you, and Brad went to go see Tenet because I know he wants to go see Tenet again.
Yeah.
Went to the movie theater. You and I would sit next to each other.
Yeah.
2 seats over. Brad. And then it's like that.
Yeah.
And you have to have a mask on. You know, like it's chill. Apparently they sanitize the fuck out of the theater after it's done.
I might wear gloves just to be a person.
I wouldn't get snacks anyway.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not getting snacks.
Too expensive. No. A. And B, I don't want to put in my mouth.
I miss movie theater popcorn though.
I don't miss it that much.
I do. I miss it a lot.
Yeah.
I miss it a lot.
But you know what? Listen. I know I'm not exactly running back to the theater because I'm wary too. But I have friends who have gone and, like, it's been 2 weeks and they ain't got COVID. So, like, maybe we can go see Tenet.
Maybe we can go see a movie.
I want to go see Tenet.
I also want to start supporting the Princess Cinemas in Kitchener.
I know.
I want to support them.
Well, because they're showing cool movies again. They did a bunch of old runs.
Dope movies. Yeah.
Good for them.
I mean, like, their first movie back when they opened was King of Staten Island, so I was like, hey.
Yeah, oh my god. It's so very cool. Oh my god.
I did not have time.
No, yeah.
It was also the first week that they were open, and I was like, I am very scared, and we'll let other people go first.
Well, they opened, like, way before even Cineplex and AMC opened back up, and, like, Landmark and stuff.
I wouldn't say way before, but before, yeah.
Like a week or so before.
As soon as Phase 3 opened up in Ontario, they were like, we're back. Because they're an independent business. Of course they're going to open up right away. Cineplex can afford to be closed for a little bit longer.
I was about to say, the Princess is like, we're open again because if we didn't we're out of business.
I'm very impressed that they didn't go under during the shutdown.
There's bigger companies that have went under.
Yeah. I'm very proud of that little engine. So I want to support them as much as I can.
Read an article today that the CNE might close forever.
Wow. Well, I mean, like, attendance to the X has been dwindling over the years, I feel.
You ever been to the X?
No, never.
You've never been to the X?
I've never been to the X.
I like the X.
Yeah.
Let's go to the X.
Whoa, baby.
Let's go to the X. Subscribe to our channel.
I guess it is about that time.
But no, the X is fun. I mean, like, I'm more in.
I'd be into the food.
The food building is the best part.
I know it's like St. Louis Fair style, like crazy carnival foods, deep fried Mars bars, and like
hell to the yeah, dude.
Like new wild.
You go to the food building, you get some crazy bullshit you've never seen before.
Yeah,
you eat
it. I would love to do that.
You have like an atomic shit later. It's awesome. The CNE is fun.
I'd love to do that.
You go to the air show if you're interested in that.
I'm not interested in that at all.
I'm not really into rides, but like we can do rides.
A waste of gas, but
well, I mean the snowbirds are like a thing.
I don't give a
They're like actually one crashed during COVID.
Yes, I heard that was
sad. A shame.
That's sad.
I immediately messaged my buddy Alen because I know he loves the snowbird. And I was like, dude, you see this? And he was like, no. Whole thing.
Sorry about that.
But you know what, guys? Let's go to the X, Sam.
Okay.
And you can follow us on social medias.
Yeah.
In the description of all of our videos, you can find our Linktree link, which gives you everything.
Everything.
Everything and a peach, dude.
Yep. See, that could be seen as offensive, and you know what? I'm just not gonna explain it.
You know what you just did?
Explained it?
You explained it.
No. I said that it could be viewed as offensive, and I didn't say why. There's a whole bell hooks dissertation fucking that I could go off on. I'm just not gonna do it.
But you know what you can do at home, guys? You can follow us.
Subscribe and follow. And
subscribe to us.
Take part in our streams. We love streaming. Mm-hmm. Streaming is basically just like this plus video games. So if you like this podcast, you will definitely love our streams.
And we'll talk to you. You can interrupt us in our 45-minute long tangents about whatever dumb bullshit we're talking about. And can contribute. And have fun. We have a Discord you can join, shoot memes and other shit. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff in there. Music Rex, I just added that chat. And yeah, guys, we'll be back next week with more CSP.
Bye, everybody.
Be sure
have
to
a good week.
Like this video and watch our other videos. We got a whole bunch of Let's Plays and fun, cool stuff.
We have so much shit going on, everybody. Like,
we almost have 300 videos.
Yeah. We make a lot of stuff. Just... click around. Click around our link tree and find something you like.
Put us on in the background while you're doing chores and other shit. Because you'll like us.
Yeah.
Chill Spot is the friendship simulator.
There you go.
Where you get to pretend like your friends are in the room.
100%.
All right, guys. Bye.
Love y'all.
Bye.